This text is one that you've brought in from home, and I know that there's not just one story in here, is there? There's a selection of different stories. I know you've read some of these as well, quite a lot of them. So what's the same? What's the common theme? What's the same in all of these stories? Do they have anything similar about them?
Everything all changing in them.
So things change. What changes in these stories?
In this one, an elephant's short nose turns into a long nose. In this one, they turn wild animals into tame animals. In this one, they change the kangaroo's legs. In this one, they change tortoises and hedgehogs into armadillos. And this one, they change the leopard into how he got this spot. This is how the rhinoceros got his wrinkly skin. This is how the camel got his hump. And this is how the whale got his throat.
And so the characters in these stories...
They all change.
They all change. And what's the same about them? They're all
non-fiction and they're all really funny.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of humour, is there? So they're all animals. So it's all about animals. Why do you think all these stories got put together? Why do you think Rudyard Kipling wrote all collected together, put together all these stories?
Because they're all about animals and because they all have something in common.
Yeah, so they have that, they've got bits in common. Right, so the one that you were really interested in, I think, was the beginning of the armadillos. Let's turn to that page. We'll do some reading and some discussion. And I might ask you quite a lot, there's some really wonderful language in this sort of writing, so I might ask you some questions about that too. Great. Do you want to, I'll just put it in front of you. That's okay.
This, in the beginning of the armadillos. This, O best beloved, is another story of the high and far off times. In the very middle of those times was a stickly, prickly hedgehog, and he lived on the banks of the turbid Amazon, eating shelly snails and things.
Can I pause you there? What do you think that means, this, O best beloved?
That they're talking about something that they want you to like and learn about.
Oh, right, okay. So, and who are they talking to?
The person who's reading it.
Right, okay, so that's some language particularly for the reader. What do you think, O best beloved, might mean? Is it positive language, negative language? Is it something different?
Positive.
It's quite positive, isn't it? It's quite affectionate and friendly. Oh, best beloved. Great. Keep going.
And he had a friend, a slow, solid tortoise, who lived on the banks of the turbid Amazon, eating green lettuces and things. And so that was all right, best beloved. Do you see?
So, again, we've got which language has been repeated?
Here.
So can you say the phrase? What are the words that's been repeated?
Oh, best beloved.
Oh, best beloved. And why do you think we might have been asked a question?
Because that's the answer, and then you're seeing if you remember it here.
Well, that's a very clever thing to say. Right, so this is the answer, this is what's going on, and this is just to check that we understand. Do you see? Brilliant, keep going.
But also at the same times, in those high and far off times, there was a painted jaguar.
When did these events happen? When did they happen?
In the high and far off times.
So do you think that's recent, long ago?
A really long time ago.
Okay.
And he lived on the banks of the turbid Amazon too, and he ate everything he could catch. When he could not catch deer or monkeys, he would eat frogs and beetles. And when he could not catch frogs and beetles, he went to his mother jaguar, and she told him how to eat hedgehogs and tortoises.
So, can you tell me some of the main characters in this text that we've learned about so far?
The leopard, the tortoise, and the hedgehog.
Is this a leopard?
A jaguar.
Right, okay, so jaguar, tortoise and hedgehog. What language is used to describe the tortoise and the hedgehog?
Stickly prickly, because it's got loads of little stickly prickly spikes.
Okay.
And slow, solid tortoise is because it's slow and its steps are really solid.
And the words stickily prickly hedgehog, what does it make you sort of think of?
The stickly prickly is its name.
That's its name. And it sounds a little bit like the little sticks, the way your mouth moves. Okay. Do you want to keep going?
She said to him ever so many times, graciously waving her tail, "My son, when you find a hedgehog, you must drop him into the water and he will uncoil. And when you catch a tortoise, you must scoop them out of your shell with your paw." And so that was all right, best beloved.
So what is the mother jaguar said there?
What to do when you find a hedgehog and what to do when you find a tortoise.
Okay, fantastic. And what do you have to do? What does she say you have to do when you find a hedgehog?
For a hedgehog, you have to drop him into the water and he will uncoil.
What does uncoil mean?
Straighten out instead of curling up into a ball.
Okay.
And when you catch when you catch a tortoise, you must scoop him out of his shell with your paw.
Right, okay. So 2 different approaches there. Okay.
One beautiful night on the banks of the Thames Amazon, Painted Jaguar found Stickly Prickly Hedgehog and Slow Solid Tortoise sitting under the trunk of a fallen tree. They could not run away, so Stickly Prickly curled himself up into a ball because he was a hedgehog, and Slow Solid drew his head and feet into his shell as far as they would go because he was a tortoise. And so that was all right, best beloved. Do you see?
You heard so many words and phrases that are being repeated.
Best beloved. And so that was all right. And do you see?
Why do you think they're being repeated?
So that you would understand and think about the whole story.
Yeah. So to keep checking that you're understanding what's going on. It also sounds. Do you know who Rudyard Kipling wrote these stories for? So he wrote them for his own children. So it's meant to make us sort of feel like we're being read to by somebody, so we can hear the voice of the author. And let's keep going.
"Now attend to me," said Painted Jaguar, "because this is very important. My mother said that when I meet a hedgehog, I'm to scoop him out of his when I meet a hedgehog, I am to drop him into the water and then he will uncoil. And when I meet a tortoise, I am to scoop him out of his shell in my paw. Now, which of you is hedgehog and which is tortoise? Because to save my spots, I can't tell."
What does he mean by that?
But he has no idea which is which.
Okay.
"Are you sure of what your mummy told you?" said Stickly Prickly Hedgehog. "Are you quite sure? Perhaps she said that when you uncoil a tortoise, you must shell him out of the water with a scoop. And when you pour a hedgehog, you must drop him on the shell."
What's happened there?
They've mixed all the words up together to make a strange sentence that doesn't make any sense.
Why do you think they might be doing that?
To try and make the children laugh.
To make the children laugh who are reading. So you laugh, and also the children of Rudyard Kipling. And why do you think the characters also, so the readers, the writers done that, but also why are the characters mixing up the words and phrases?
So they don't get eaten.
That's right, part of a plan. Let's keep going.
"Are you sure what your mummy told you?" said Slow and Solid Tortoise. "Are you quite sure? Perhaps she said that when you water a hedgehog, you must drop him into your paw, and when you meet a tortoise, you must shell him till he uncoils." "I don't think it was all like that," said Painted Jaguar. But she felt a bit puzzled. "But please say it again more distinctly." "When you scoop water with your paw, you uncoil it with a hedgehog. Remember that because it's important." "But," said the tortoise, "when you pour your meat, you drop it into a tortoise with a scoop. Why can't you understand?"
So what's happened over the course of this conversation?
They've made Painted Jaguar feel so puzzled he can't remember the previous conversation about who was who.
Right, okay.
And he's forgotten about eating them.
Right, okay. And as a reader, Are you confused?
A bit.
A little bit confused as well. So you have empathy for our jaguar. Right, keep going.
You're making my spot sick, said Pinky Jaguar.
What does he mean by that?
He's making him so puzzled that he doesn't know what to do or where to go.
Okay.
And besides, I didn't want your advice at all. I only wanted to know which of you is hedgehog and which is tortoise. I shan't tell you, said Stickly Prickly, but you can scoop me out of my shell if you like. Aha, said Painted Jaguar. Now I know you're tortoise. You thought I wouldn't. Now I will. Painted Jaguar darted out his puddy paw just as Stickly Prickly curled himself up. And of course, Jaguar's puddy paw was just filled with prickles. Worse than that, he knocked Stickly Prickly away and away into the woods and the bushes where it was too dark to find him. Then he put his paddy paw into his mouth, and of course the prickles hurt him worse than ever. As soon as he could speak, he said, Now I know he isn't tortoise at all. But then he scratched his head with his unprickly paw. And how do I know that the other is tortoise? But I am tortoise. She said that you were to scoop me out of my shell with your paw. Begin. You didn't say that a minute ago, said Painted Jaguar, sucking the prickles out of his paddy paw. You said something quite different. Well, suppose you say that I said she said something quite different. I don't see that it makes any difference. Because if she said Because if she said what you said, I said, she said, it's just the same as if I said what she said, she said.
So what's happened here in this very long sentence?
They put two words together, two short words to make a very long sentence. Yeah, and it's a very confusing, because it's like a tongue twister sentence.
Oh, it is quite like a tongue twister. So how do you think the jaguar's feeling now?
Very puzzled.
And you as a reader, how are you feeling?
Very puzzled.
Very puzzled, right.
On the other hand, if you think she said that you were to uncoil me with a scoop instead of pouring me into drops with a shell, I can't help that, can I? But you said you wanted to be scooped out of your shell with my paw, said Painted Jaguar. If you think again, you'll find that I didn't say anything of the kind. I said that your mother said that you were to scoop me out of my shell.
So what do you think is going to happen next? So the hedgehog has already... What's happened so far in this story? You retell it to me.
So there were two tortoises sitting on... one hedgehog and one tortoise under a tree. And then a jaguar came and asked which one was hedgehog and which one was tortoise, and then they started muddling him up, so it would take ages for him to understand and he'd forget all about eating them.
Right, again, what's happened to Hedgehog?
He's got knocked away, and
what's currently happening with Tortoise?
He said something and then saying he didn't say it, and then said this is what he said, and then he said the thing that he said there, but he's already puzzled Painted Jaguar so much that he doesn't remember.
And what do you think Jaguar's going to do now?
He's going to go and tell his mum soon, but there's a little bit till that.
Okay, so you don't think he's going to be able to work out what to do?
No.
He's going to be very confused. Right, okay.
What will happen if I do? Said Jaguar, most sniffily and most cautious. I don't know, because I've never been scooped out of my shell before. But I'll tell you truly. If you want to see me swim, you've only got to drop me into the water. I don't believe it, said Painted Jaguar. You've mixed up everything my mother told me to do with the things that asked me whether I was sure she didn't say. till I don't know whether I'm on my head or my painted tail, and now you come and tell me I can understand, and it makes me more mixy than before.
What does that mean?
That they told him loads of things that they don't understand, and he got so confused that now they tell him something they can understand, and it just makes him even more confused.
Confused. Is there another emotion he might be feeling?
A bit annoyed and
Right.
a bit frustrated that they didn't listen to him and just made up their own conversation.
Yeah, I would agree, potentially, yep.
My mother told me that I was to drop one of you two into the water, and as you seem so anxious to be dropped, I don't think you want to be dropped. So jump into the water, jump into the Termid Amazon, and be quick about it. I warn you that your mummy won't be pleased. Don't tell her I didn't tell you, says Slow Solid. If you say another word about my mother said, the Jaguar answered, but he had not finished the sentence before Slow and Solid quietly dived into the turbid Amazon, swam underwater for a long way, and came out on the bank where Stickly Prickly was waiting for him. That was a very narrow escape, said Stickly Prickly. I don't like being a Jaguar. What did you tell him that you were? I told him truthfully I was a truthful tortoise, but he wouldn't believe it, and he made me jump into the river to see if I was. And I was, and he is surprised. Now he's gone to tell his mummy. Listen to him. They could hear Painted Jaguar roaring up and down among the trees and bushes by the side of the Termid Amazon till his mummy came.
So, what's happened? What's happened to both these characters?
They've either got knocked away or escaped away to the other side of the bank.
Is there still a problem in this story?
Yes.
What's the problem?
That he still does not know what to do when he meets a tortoise and what to do when he meets a hedgehog.
So you've got a problem for the jaguar, he still doesn't know what to do. Do we have any problems for the hedgehog and tortoise?
Yes.
What's their problem?
He's going to come back tomorrow and try again.
So he's going to probably come back and try again. So what do you think the jaguar is going to do next?
He's going to come back to where they had the conversation last night, yeah. And then both the hedgehog and the tortoise are going to be something quite different than what they were before.
Thinking about the other stories in this collection, why do you know that something's going to happen to the tortoise and hedgehog?
Because it happens in all of the other stories.
What happens in all of the other stories?
And they all change. Everything about all of them changes.
And what kind of characters do you have in all of these stories? What kind of personality types do these animals have? If we have a look at them, what different types of characteristics?
All of them are kind of grumpy or not very good at something or clever. Or
right, so you have grumpy characters.
Apart from in this one where they're... I don't know what they are because I've never read that one.
Oh, okay. Right, okay, so there's some sort of similar characters. And what usually happens to those characters? What happens to the grumpy ones?
So the grumpy ones, like this one, yeah, he has to have his hump, because all he said was humph, yeah, and then he got a humph.
Right, okay.
Because he wouldn't work, and then he had to, and then, because he missed 3 days, yeah, the hump comes and it stores fat for him so he can work for 3 days to make up for the 3 days without working.
So do good things happen to the grumpy characters in these stories?
No.
No. And what other types of characters do you have in all of these stories?
I have clever ones,
you've got
cunning ones.
What happens to the clever and cunning ones?
Good things happen, and most of the time they get their own way.
Right, okay.
Apart from in this one, he's not clever, not grumpy, and not cunning. He's actually not very good at anything.
Right, which one is that one? The
kangaroo.
And what happens to him?
He looks a bit like a dog. Yeah, apart from a kangaroo's head. And then when he runs, he starts hopping, and then his legs go like that, and then he regrets it and wants to go back to normal.
So if the grumpy ones, negative things happen to, and the clever ones, change happens, what do you think Rudyard Kipling is trying to tell us through all of these stories?
That you have to be, that if you want to get your own way, you have to be well behaved, and if you don't want to get your own way and be bossed around, you can behave badly.